What are you
Looks
laughing
like
at?
we're live. Looks
Yeah,
like
we're
we're
live.
live.
Yeah, we're live.
You're
Hello.
getting base threats, Payne.
Am I? Oh, Snowman can't
Yeah.
hear me. It would be a trouble if he did that. Because he wouldn't get in. Yeah, welcome everyone to Hangout in the Crib. We're going to be talking today. We're going to be asking the question first, where did my paint go? We're going to be looking at the Forsaken tournament tokens. Larry? Slides?
Yep.
Let's
Ready to
not
go?
be about- Yeah, let's not be about the bush.
All right.
I'm going to go grab a drink actually real quick while you lot talk.
Okay. All right. So welcome. We're going to talk about the Forsaken Arena, and we're going to talk about some models. So I'll start with the Kixeye updates. This week they increased the capacity of the Wrath to support the prizes in the tournament. They addressed an issue with tokens that could result in an SOS when they were spent in rapid succession. So I heard a lot of people running into that. I haven't spent my tokens yet, but hopefully Kixeye fixed it right. They also claim that the Eruption Pyre has been fixed so that it does increase the speed of your mortar projectiles. I don't know if anybody's confirmed that one.
Yeah, it seems to have been. I haven't actually checked it properly, but it does seem that they do travel
Yeah.
quicker.
Yeah, I've been hit
Good.
twice, right? It seems to be faster.
Good. And then they messed up a link and fixed that, so great. What else is going on? We got for Going Rogue campaign is going to be available on Saturday, and they're going to make it available through the whole week instead of only on the weekend. And that's probably because the Forsaken Arena tournament is also going on starting tomorrow. So there's that, and ends on Monday. And then the other thing is the new Forsaken mission started today. I noticed the B-Torps came back in Tier 3, so for those of you that won subs, look for those.
Yeah, I also noticed that the D5U come back in Tier 4.
D5U is back, and the Assault Missile Z is back also, which I didn't like off the bat, but when I ran the numbers...
I really don't like the D5U now, because it stopped me yet again from getting the Syrian Barrage Mortar.
Yeah. It's still very useful, though.
Yeah, I think all the other U armors kind of suck, but the D5U is reasonable. So, all right, moving on to the tournament. Some of you might recognize this slide because it is exactly the same as last month. So, unless somebody speaks up in chat, maybe one of you guys could monitor that. The tournament's just the same, or the structure is the same. So I'm not going to spend any more time on this. And these are the prizes. So if you're in the lower bracket, the normal bracket, you can win a Hellstrike print for being in the top 10 or a Road Cruise. If you're in the elite bracket, you can win Grimshine Wrath blueprints. And so that's a limited haul. I didn't actually put the blueprint up. That probably would have been a good idea. But it's sort of like a Hellhound, but has a missile bonus and has an Alpha Strike and all that good stuff. I was talking in our chat with the other guys in the crib here, and I was kind of disappointed with the Grimshine Wrath when it came out. These guys disagreed and are going to have some builds for you a little later in the show. So there's that. And again, top 10, you can win this new model for the Grimshine Wrath that you can use. We'll talk about models. And then extra prizes. You're getting this deal again for just number of wins. 1,000 uranium for 5 wins, Grease Monkeys for 50 wins, Warbird print for 250 wins, and then a modified Warbird model for 300 wins.
All I can say is, really? I mean, have you seen the paint job that they've given it?
Yes, and for those that haven't,
See, I kind of like it more than the original though. If I had to choose.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well,
I prefer Larry's.
Yeah, we'll talk about models. Maybe not
Oh.
those models, but yeah, models. Models.
No, let's talk about those
Should I stay on
models.
Should I stay on the
Right,
slide for a few minutes?
Yeah, keep it up. Chat
Right,
will
'cause
like it.
I'm just liking the fact that even if you don't want to do the arena for the ships, you can get the grease monkey for the raid.
I'm liking Larry's censorship.
Oh, sorry. Here, should we just? There we go. Is that better?
Much.
They've already. Why did you censor something that's already censored?
That's.
And
Just
why is there
how
two
they are.
Earths?
I don't know. Okay. All right. So let's move on with the show. Not those models. So they released 2 of these models. You've got the Grimshine's Wrath Volcanic model, which I think looks kind of cool.
Looks fucking
then-
awesome.
And then the Warbird Carrier model, which they did not give a name to, so I dubbed it the Baby model because it looks like colors that you would paint a nursery. I think I used that color blue in one of my kids' rooms. So I'm going to call it the Baby model. And if Kickstarter doesn't like it, maybe they can come up with a model that doesn't look quite so lame.
Yeah, it does look a bit shit. The Warbird.
Well, considering it's going to cost you 300 wins to get that skin, you would have thought they would have funked it up a little bit, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Well, it's
It reminds me of
300
Star
wins for
Wars.
something-
Oh, they
No,
funked it up.
don't put Star Wars.
That
Scotty, never
reminds
put
me of Star
down.
Wars. That's like a Star Wars ship.
No,
No,
no.
it's a baby.
Yeah.
It's a
It looks
nursery.
like and the way it goes in at a point, you could use it as a pacifier as well, or a dummy, depending on which part of the world you're from.
All right, so I did pick out some of the highlights about these models. So you apply them in your shipyard, so you can refit or build new ones with the model. So what you do is when you put a ship or a refit in the yard, you click that model slot icon and select the model you want to use. Changing the model, it said in the description a small amount of time and resources. I think the time is 3 minutes, so you can instant change. Yep. Right?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good. I'm glad it's instant to do, because if it wasn't, that would be lame.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, I'm not being funny. All right, yes, it's instant, and you can do it instantly, but you can't unless your your shipyard's free, which it isn't. Let's be honest, whose shipyard's free at any given time, really, unless you've just finished a build.
If it's instant, the Kickstarter going to speed up my 12 days on my Frostburn first.
Exactly, because now
Yeah,
we've
you're
got
right.
ships. We've got ships that we've retroed, and we've worked hard to get the uranium. We've worked hard to do the researches. Some people may have even coined them. No, I'm not mentioning any names, Scotty. But there we go.
What?
And
I kind.
yeah, and now we've got ships that have gone back to their basics. I've got a Spectre fleet that's got 3 R5 skins on it, and one which is normal, and then the other way around in the other fleet.
So I did
Yeah.
I
Just
did
mixed up.
campaign. It's like the ships that you've already got the cameras on should have stuck. To be honest. But
Yeah, because
I mean, it's like my kudos. I mean, like we were saying before the show, like some people have like retroed them just for the look, and now they haven't. And then if they ain't got the shipyard free, they can't get it back.
yeah, you know what I mean. It's just I don't know. They should have just
Yeah, you're
left
right.
it all the same as what it is
Well-
currently, and then if you wanted to change them, because there are advantages as well to changing them back to normal. I suppose if you look at it that way. For example, if you wanted to create bait fleets with, like, for example, I don't know, battle cruiser, which you might have R10, and then swap it down to R0, obviously they're going to think that it's got no thermal, so you've got to be a bit careful.
The other thing that I was thinking would be kind of useful for these is sometimes you like to build one ship with countermeasures to escort a fleet, so you can keep your countermeasure ship a different model, and so it just stands out to you. And then my Spectres spontaneously changed, but somehow the Spectres that I use kept the R5 model, and the Spectres I don't use reverted. So I was actually pretty pleased because now I can just pick them right out of the lineup.
I was thinking the same thing with spotters for Mastodons. You can tell between the two.
Yep. So, at first I kind of thought this was sort of just window dressing, but there's a couple decent uses for this. People be creative.
I'm glad we've got the option to choose, even if we have to wait for the shipyard. I personally prefer Spectres without the stupid golden gun Call of Duty style camo they've put on them. I think it looks better just as it is. And some ships I absolutely hate, like the Cuda. I don't like the original looking Cuda. I don't particularly like the R5 or the R10, but I think they look a lot better.
Well, I mean, it's like Larry said, I've got two sets of Spectres. I've got ones which I use for ranking fleets, which have got no cat drive on them, and I've got another set which has got cat drive on them, which I use for a completely different purpose. So and I very rarely have them actually set up as fleets in my dock, so it's quite easy to swap them out. So that the cat drive ones have got one colour and the other ones have got a different colour.
Just pick and choose.
Yeah, so it saves you having to wait for that pop-up to come up to say what's on it and stuff, don't you? So that's one of the good things, I think, but it's very limited.
Yep.
I think the only negative thing, to be honest with it, is the fact that people that have already got their ships built for specific, camos, now have got to wait if they can't use the shipyard. That's the only downside I see.
Yeah, like me, I've just finished my R5 Nighthawks. I was using them for about 2 days and now they look the same as they did before. It's not a big deal, they still perform the same, but I kind of like the R5 Nighthawks and I wish I could keep them without having to wait just nearly 2 weeks to put them back.
Yeah, I just sunk a set with a fleet of mortar hellhounds.
Yeah. I'm wondering if something happened, with all the spontaneous reversions, if ones that you built like before the R5 was even available, before the new model was available, if those are the ones that reverted, and the ones that you built after it was.
I don't think that is, because I have my 5 Battle Barge A's a hell of a long time. I've had it for years, 2 years or something. And 4 of them reverted, 1 of them didn't. The one that didn't revert was sat in my dock in a slot.
An actual fleet.
My other it was part of a fleet. It was like my Battle Barge A with 4 dead super fortresses. That stayed R5, but my 4 which were in the excess slots, as you like, they were reverted.
I had the same with the Atlas. I've got 4 Atlas with Hornets on and then 2 with Scarabs. And the 2 with Scarabs were sitting in the dock and the others were in a fleet.
Yeah,
and obviously the ones that was in the dock was R5 and the other one weren't.
Same with my forces. My force that sat in my base is R5. The one that's been taken out for sniping is R0.
Alright, so it's just weird. Alright, so do we have more to say about models?
No, it wasn't.
Nope, should we go back? Models?
Yes.
That's actually on my slides tonight. Didn't have a whole lot. Do we want to talk about tokens or wrath builds? What do you want to talk about next, guys?
I was just wondering, because the more you were clicking, the more you were revealing if anything else was going to come off. But
nope, sorry.
I mean, we could talk about tokens. I know we haven't got any slides for tokens, but they came out after our last show, didn't they? We had a little talk about it on the community show of the weekend.
Yep.
But we could go over them real quick.
Well, I think that the campaign to obtain them was quite easy, in the most part. You could prep it out with subs, pretty good, and you can take a lot of damage, so it's definitely worth doing the campaign in order to get them. But then again, I suppose that comes down to what fleets you've got again, doesn't it, really?
I still think it brings medium to non-coiners back into the game, though. To play, to willing to coin more if they can drop, say they got 3 days on a build and they drop 2 days off it, for example, and they got a day left, they're more willing to coin it.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, for a non-coiner, I think the best use of those tokens is to, sometimes you got to build finishing in the middle of the night or during the day that you can't, be on Battle Pirates. So I know it's shocking that there might be a time when you can't get on Battle Pirates, but yeah, you can use the tokens and get that speed up so you can finish your build and start another one before it finishes in the middle of the night or middle of the day or something.
Or like raids or certain things, like, say if you've saved them up, for example, and say, I don't know, say you've got 4 days off a build and you've had something building, and it's like, oh, there's a raid coming up, I need that ship. Then obviously you can drop them down and get the ship there and then.
Have any of you used any tokens yet?
No, I haven't yet. I'm saving mine, I think.
No.
I just used all of mine because I just wanted to speed up something, so I just used them all.
I want to wait to use them at the end of a build. That's my other piece of advice: is use them at the end of the build, so you use them and finish a build.
Yeah, I think the whole feeling like you've got something out of it as well. I could speed up 2 days on my Frosty now. I've still got 10 days to wait. It doesn't feel like I've got much out of it, and I know it doesn't actually change. I'm still going to be waiting 10 days before it's built. It just feels better to use them at the end, and also, like you were saying, you can guarantee to be online to start the next build. So there's no downtime on my shipyard.
And just saving time in general.
Yeah, let's be honest. Though, since when have I ever actually waited for a build to finish? That's my point on it.
I built a super ball once.
I used them to speed it up, and then I thought, yeah, well, that's done now. And then when I get bored waiting, I'll just sort it out.
Well, not everybody coins like you are.
Yeah, right, you dirty coiner.
I know it's terrible, but there we go.
I'll just
No,
my
I
stock phrase.
think it's definitely
supporting the
nice
game.
It just keeps medium to non-coiners playing the game, more, willing to play more.
Well, they said they're going to be out in the FM raids and other tournaments, so I haven't seen anything about them in this tournament, which maybe they'll add something we don't know. But I'm looking forward to seeing them in the FMs.
Yeah, it'd be nice to get those when you've got all the prizes in a tier, or even just have them as like a prize in a tier.
Like I say, I hope that when they do it, it's like the uranium is now, and it's not instead of uranium; it's in addition to uranium. I hope, and not like a prize, so you can win. I don't know. You got a choice of D5A bulkhead or a 2-day token, because that will annoy some people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, realistically, you'd think they'd do it with, you still get your uranium bonus, and you'd have the token as another bonus. So for your tier 4, that would be your highest token bonus prize, and then.
Yeah, I actually ended up dumping the uranium from the Forsaken mission this week because I'd filled up with crews. I had a retro going that I don't particularly want to speed up because I don't believe in coining retros for my base guard.
Would that be crews for the arena?
Yeah.
See,
So I ended up, I was full on uranium, and I ended up obviously just ended up dumping the stuff from the
surely that's just impatient. You've got a week. You've got a week to do your mission. You could have waited and hit some bases later tonight or tomorrow, and then rolled some more crews.
Yeah, well, I was looking forward to getting the Syrian barrage mortar, so that I could.
And did you get it?
No.
so that worked out well for you. You're down like 25k on your uranium, which you could have used. You've not got your more. What did you win?
I got the D5U armor.
Oh.
Brilliant.
So I wanted the bulkhead and I got the cannon.
So that can be a lesson to the community about patience.
Yeah, have some patience. Don't do enough. There we go. But what I will like to say is, Kyle, if you ever mention again that I'm not going to get the mortar, I will kill you. Because that's 2 weeks in a row now you've done that to me.
Is it not about time we should be expecting like 3 new prizes or something next week?
Next week.
So that means
Yes.
hey, I've got mine. I'm fine.
I don't have the mortar. For me, it's between the mortar and the shielded tactical system this week.
Yeah,
So
I got that rubbish last week.
yeah.
Oh no, I got the cannon last week. It was the week before I got the shield.
I've still not got the Earthshaker. He keeps putting off the Earthshaker for me.
The Earthshaker?
Yeah, I've got Earthshaker and Assault Disruptor left. So
Yeah, I got the bulk. I got bulkhead and the tactical system left.
Anyway, there's a question from chat, Scotty, asking what's in the box next to your shoes.
Which
It's a lot of
box?
shoes, Imelda.
wait, is it just me? My screen again? I can't see Scotty's camera anymore.
Yeah, Scotty, what happened to your camera?
There it is.
It's like he saw chat and thought,
There.
oh god.
They're taking the mick out of my shoes. No.
Okay.
You leave the shoes alone.
Can
There's
tell
a
this
there's a
video, like,
purple box and there's an orange box.
I'm
Right?
gonna
Oh,
select,
that's for the coffee machine.
I'm gonna select Scotty's screen. Scotty,
That's
the box on the left on the bottom shelf.
Yeah,
We're
for
gonna
the
do a live
coffee machine.
unboxing. You better-
Hold on, let me go.
I want to hope that there's nothing there.
No, it's Keurig things.
Oh, is that it?
coffee machine.
What
The
about
coffee machine.
It's mockers.
What about the black? What about the black box? What's in the black box?
That's
He's
the-
thinking about that one. That's his dildos in that one.
Nah, there's a pistol in that. Airsoft pistol.
All right.
All right.
All
right.
Back to business.
Moving on.
Should we talk about the Grimwrath?
Let's talk about the Grimwrath.
Okay, I'm going to prepare by sharing my screen then, so we
You know,
can.
those things are evil, man. Keurigs, they taste like plastic.
Grimwrath. Here's build number 1. Let me just select my screen. So, this is a Grimwrath that I'm going to build personally. I don't actually have one yet. I refused to play the last raid where the Grimwrath came out. I was too busy to play it, and I didn't want to spend as much as I needed to win it in a short space of time. So I was going to pick up my first one in the arena. And anyone who's seen my Hound fleet with Mastodons already will know how it works. It's just 2 Mastodons with siege missiles and a few strikes. But I use 2 of these Hellhound spotters at the moment. So all it is a direct swap of the Hellhound to a Grimshine's Wrath. So it's got 2 bulkheads, 3 D5E and a D2E, a Cutlass missile with solid fuel booster as a spotter, and then Speed System 3, D5X, and Agility System 3. So with my retros at the moment, I'm looking at 21.9 combat speed, which compared to 18.5 on the Mastodon is plenty to keep it a reasonable length in front of the masts. And I think the main reason I'm using this, or going to use it, is I do a lot of sniping. So if I can snipe something in your base, I will. And with the Hounds, it works great because they can take a little bit of a beating from your Apocalypse motes, unlike maybe a Jug X or something. But the Grimshine's Wrath's going to give me a triple salvo, so when I am sniping, it pumps out as many missiles as possible. So the more missiles I'm getting onto the island, the better it is for sniping for the retarget. So that's the main logic with that.
Yeah, it's going to give you an extra 50% missile reload on there as well, isn't it? So
Yes, so it's the same as using a Savage in that respect, isn't it?
it is, yeah.
The arm points are slightly better as well.
Yeah. I mean, obviously I'm losing my... sometimes I use a Highlander, so I'm losing the radiation resistance, which is 50% on the Hounds. But as I've already got this Hound built, you don't have to use the Grimshine's Wrath on every hit. If you've got the time to build a couple of spotters, it's useful when you're fixing as well, so you can interchange between them and still hit a base. As long as these things are alive, the Mastodons, if you've got a couple of spotters that you can switch around and play with, then it actually means you can hit more bases more frequently. So you can easily pull that out and use a Jug X or a second Hound with a Highlander instead. It just gives options, really, to what you can use it with. I just want to point out it is, unlike the Hound, with my agility system, I've got 88.1 slow resist. You do get less on the Wrath, so it's going to be slowed down more from the Wendigo field.
Yeah, but the defense is higher anyway, so.
Yeah, there's pros and cons to both. I mean, obviously this has built-in the built-in siege target, the siege battery, isn't it, on the buildings, the
Yeah.
turrets. So it's all about clever driving. When I'm in a channel with these two, I'm going to use the Hellhound as the main spotter, not the Grimshine's Wrath. I'm only going to use the Grimshine's Wrath and poke that one forward when I feel like I need a triple salvo. So when I'm approaching a guard ship is when I'll use the Grimshine's Wrath. Versus turrets, I don't need a triple salvo really, so I won't waste it. I'll use the Hellhound instead to go up front. So it's just about clever driving. So that's that one. Post that on the page at the end as well. The second one I did was to go with Crusaders. I've seen people with Crusaders before using a Grim Wrath. One of them did actually beat my base. It was a really nice fleet. I think the reason most obvious why it's really powerful is the triple salvo on Arbalists is just insane. It will almost single shot any guard ship that you can build, no matter what your resistances are. I have Reaver Bulkhead and R12 heavy plating, and I still got dropped in 1 or 2 volleys from the Crusaders. And the Crusaders here is just, I just use mine, so it's 3 D5E, Bulkhead, 4 Arbalists. You've got nuke accelerators, reflective coin MC3 and speed system 3. So probably similar to a lot of other builds out there, and you've got enough weight to play with to use your own. The Grimshine's Wrath has 3 Bulkheads and 3 D5Es.
Okay, that's a lot of armor.
32,793 in armor, so it's not going to die fast. 72% evade, but I do have R10 D5E there.
How many triple salvages is that? I can't remember how many arm points it is.
How many triple salvo at 3k? Was it 1,500?
1,500.
Wow.
So that's 21.
So yeah, I mean, obviously the main thing you're missing is the Wendigo thing with the Frostburn. You don't extinguish them, but if you drive it well, in a lot of bases you'll find you can push wide in channels where a lot of people don't really think to do that, and you can avoid most of it. Hell, you could even swap and put some. You could try and fit some anti-slow field onto your Crusaders, even seeing as this is going to be the thing that takes most of the hits. But on this for specials, you've got speed system, agility, D5X, and siege battery, so it gives you more defense for turrets. Like I said earlier, the Hellhound has it built in, but the Grimshine's Wrath doesn't. So it's going to let you take more of a beating from the island and stuff. 72% evade is certainly nothing shy to be shabby about, and the slow resistance again 60% is pretty decent. So that it's just a couple of ideas that you can use. I did use
something else.
I want to say I didn't use solid fuel booster because it's not as a spar. You could simply just use the same Wrath and use it for both if you didn't want to build loads of ships. But the reason I put a Cutlass on, I was talking to Bombard earlier, and he said he uses it simply so you can click a turret. So if you click to target a gargoyle, a flood cannon will automatically get too close, and you'll have to manually stop it. This will outrange a gargoyle and a serb, so you don't have to worry about hitting down on your ship.
Yeah,
You can also drop it in with your strike cruiser Kodaks as well, and it makes it more beneficial.
Yeah, I mean, but in essence, what I'm kind of trying to demonstrate with the Grimshine's Wrath is you can replace your Frostburn with this in many fleets. It doesn't have to be Crusaders; it could be other fleets as well.
yeah. Something else you've got to remember as well is that it has the random overload on your missiles. So, and it only works for missiles. So, having a missile on there is a good idea rather than having anything else on there, because you get that incendiary missile on there, which does splash damage and does radioactive damage. So it's always a good idea just to keep a missile on there.
Yeah.
I was thinking about trying to run those with my warbirds, to be honest with you.
When the hell did you join?
I was a few minutes late. Figured I'd
You
stop
snuck in, didn't you?
Snuck in for you. And I was thinking about trying the Wrath as a lead for the warbirds. I'm already using 3 warbirds and a monarch, and doing pretty well on most bases, but I think if I can drop some of the armor there and actually just squeeze the Wrath in, then it's probably going to be pretty tough. That was my
No.
plan anyway.
I was tempted to do the same thing because I use my groom with my hellhounds at the moment, and I was thinking of dropping the groom with the warbirds and then the new Wrath with the hellhounds.
But I think you can win up to 3, is it, in the tournament if you're in the top 10?
Yeah.
So I mean, if you wanted to, you can do that. You've got a couple of options left open to you. I mean, obviously the bonus that you get from using just a normal Grimshine Berserker is that you get that defense, the 30% defense, is it, to everything, or was it 40? I can't remember.
50?
I can't
I think
remember
it was
what
40.
it is. But yeah, but you obviously get that across the fleet as well, which you don't get with the Grim Wrath. But with the Grim Wrath, you can get the evade a lot higher than what you can with a Grimshine's Berserker. So
It's 50% damage defense on a Grimshine Berserker.
Yeah, I was right.
30% combat speed as well.
yeah, that's why I was thinking 30. But yeah. But yeah, so it's always good. Well,
All right.
Do you want to
Yeah.
show yours, Earth?
yeah, I was gonna get it up now. Can we see that? Right, so this is just what I've got in my base at the minute. It's quite good. Obviously, not a lot of people are going to have the Cryonic depth charge on there, but if you've got them, stick them on there because they're good fun. When you get high rank on them, they completely tear apart Hellhound fleets. It's quite funny when they run into range. But basically, I use this as just sort of like at the back of my base, where they've either got to run through it, or they've got to stop and try to kill it. And it sits on top of an Atlas, which has got 32k armor on it. So obviously with the defences of this, with the multiple overloads that you're going to get, obviously not as many as what Payne's got on the design that he's put together. But I mean, this is going to hurt a lot. The cryo depth charges, they hurt lots. It will work with Poseidon's as well, so I've chucked some Poseidon on there as well. They got a really good armor buff. Damage buff when they've done the last sort of look at changing all of the old weapons, and obviously just keep the one cutlass missile on there just to when they get close, that random override goes in, and you get the incendiary missile on there. But I mean, you don't have to use it as an offensive hull. It can work really well in defence. So I'm quite glad because I'm looking at putting a Grimshine's Wrath in with my Hellhounds. So I'm quite glad I can get another one. But I mean, the damage and everything doesn't look massive out of this, but when you consider with the cryo depth charges, when a ship dies, it gives off a cryo burst as well for each of the depth charges that are in the water. So then it really starts to kill stuff real quick.
Yeah, that's one thing I'm looking forward
if you
to.
do-
Yeah, because I put mine in my base as well, so obviously that's a flagship that I've wasted kind of thing. So now I can get another one. I can use that for offensive.
I mean, it works really well. Obviously the evade here you can get up 80% plus. With that on there, you've got the stun resistance on there. With the shield and electronics, so it doesn't stay down for very long. Mine's retroed, but so it's a matter of seconds and it's back up again.
And without, if someone didn't have cryos though, they could just use regular Poseidons, couldn't they? Maybe even a couple of piranhas to
Exactly.
prevent them running past.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I've put this together to show you that you can use both. Obviously, if you've got the cryo depth charges, a lot of people think more of them to use in sort of like fleet versus fleet. But with the APOC mortars now doing so much damage in your base, people aren't going to want to stop and get pounded by the mortars. So obviously, anybody tries to run this thing, it just wastes fleets like this. Well, you can ask the 3 people that have tried to do it in the last couple of days and ate crap.
Have you thought about solid fuel booster for the single missile? I don't know how that would tear into your weight for your fleet. I'm guessing you've got mastodons.
Yeah, it tear into the weight quite a lot. So, I mean, I haven't actually got any mastodons in my base. I run 2 Harlocks, this, and an Enforcer at the minute. And that Enforcer really is just to add to the Wendigo.
I mean, maybe you could drop a Poseidon off and drop an armor down.
Yeah, I mean you could, but I mean it's not a great deal of weight, but it's still something. You know, it's like 400 tons in it. 400 tons that could be used somewhere else.
I would definitely say to people, even to you, I know you've got yours built, but consider maybe taking 1 depth charge off for a Piranha. I know that they're going to kill things running past, but just in case they've managed to tank through a little bit, that Piranha's like an extra little punch in the kidney, really, when they come past your bend, isn't it?
I have actually got one on mine. I've got a Piranha on mine. Well, I've got 2 Piranhas on mine. This is just a sort of build for everybody, if you like.
Well, my last ship in my base, I mean, I got killed because there's a minimum range to the Goliath Arbalest. So somebody actually got close enough to run over mine. So I've dropped a couple of depth charges on it and that to when they do run over it. Get first.
I mean, they don't generally, as a general rule, unless it's a sort of like level 50 or 60 fleet, as a general rule, they don't make it to get hit by the Piranha. But, you know, it's there. And it's obviously with the overload, it will save the overload up until something comes in range as well. So you can watch entire Hound fleets disappear in one shot.
One
thing that I will suggest though is that if you're going to use that as a tactic, you want to do it so it's on a tight U-bend so that they can't carry the speed through, because otherwise the Piranhas will seem to miss if they're in overload. So it's just a little bit of a heads up there.
So I'm noticing a theme between all you guys' Wrath builds and my build that I didn't particularly like, and that is lots of armor. So, you know, I built mine with no armor and then just threw some D1 on it to use it in a raid. And yeah, so I think that's the general theme, is armor these babies up.
Yeah, and
obviously
they don't come cheap to fix either, so expect a bit of a repair bill.
Yeah.
But they do have the repair modifier now in the lab.
They have, yeah.
That's right. You're right.
So if you had them no armor and just ranked them up first.
Yeah, that's what I was doing. And then you know, I used it in the last raid a little bit. I used it to spot for my mass from those shroud ships.
Even I want to say as well, even without weapons on, you can still rank them. I think it's Knuckle who said it in our alliance. He doesn't have anything on it but a cutlass, and he's at 4 stars because the fireball thing helps do damage and ranks them up in cargoes, and in the arena as well. You can rank them pretty nice.
I just loaded mine with strike bees, so.
I mean, you know, there's loads of different ways of ranking stuff now. I mean, to be honest, what I done with mine was I was really just cocking about really more than anything in one of the arena tournaments. I've done a little video of Death from Below, which was Reapers in the arena with the Grimshine's Wrath, and I was spreading my Reapers out with the Lusion and then just firing my Grimshine's Wrath straight into their fleet. So it was getting all of the overloads from that, and then I was just pressing 0 and just watching a fountain of deluge missiles just take out the entire fleet, which was quite funny. It was quite funny.
Well, I've seen people use one of the guys now use like a decoy for subs, and he drop his Grimshine's Wrath out with 4 Vipers with the death charges on, and just send the death charge forward and then the Vipers to follow up afterwards.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's loads of different uses for them, and they're great fun, especially with those cryo depth charges on.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, are we done talking about the Wrath?
I think we've had enough Wrath for one day.
Yeah.
All right. What other topics we got today? I think
That
we
was
hit on
way
it.
long.
The actual tournament.
Yeah, the tournament itself.
But we could talk about punctuality for Chris.
Yeah, I gotta make enough money to pay for these ships and stuff here, man. I gotta work.
This is very true.
Feed the
So-
addiction.
So if we want to talk about the tournament, I have a tip that's worked pretty well for me in the last one, which is if you want to get in an easier bracket, don't start right away. All right, I started like over the weekend and just noticed that my point totals were a lot lower than, all these other ones I was hearing about. So, if you want to get in right away and get all those wins and get your grease monkeys and whatever, that's fine. But if you want a better chance of getting in an easier bracket, you might want to wait.
Of course, now you've said that to everybody.
Yeah, I
Yeah, my
say.
secret
It might
tip.
might be better to start earlier, since everyone's going to be waiting until Saturday or Sunday now.
There's people watching right now.
Another thing as well, if you want to have good success, well, mix your fleet up. Don't go with the same thing.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, last time, to be honest, I used my Mastodon fleet, and then that wasn't really sort of cutting it because of the amount of Arbalest fleets that were in there. So I swapped it up after a while and thought, well, what can I do? So I ended up putting then Hellhounds with mortars on, with a Grimshine lead, and that worked really well against Arbalest fleets, believe it or not.
Yeah. Yeah, I think last time I did I was playing about with some different ones and I put some a couple of Reapers in with like a Viper and Grimshine and stuff and I think a Mastodon at the back with no armor and it worked really well.
I ran Salty Dogs on my Frosty Crusader fleet and just ranked it the whole weekend just because you got a lot of EXP. So I was like, whatever, I'm just going to play and run this fleet and rank it up, and it actually worked pretty well.
Yeah, it's a really good way to get rank, which would lead me to say to anyone who's maybe not got the best of fleets and they're not a regular winner and uranium is a problem for them, save your uranium from the mission. If you got any dredges today, Friday's dredge day, just take a bit of time out to maybe save some uranium to get some repairs for the arena, because it will help you rank your fleets, which makes fleets a hell of a lot better in the long run, and you might even get a prize. And if you're a lower level, you get the Hellstrike, which is a nice fleet if you don't have anything to really build on at the moment. So it's worth remembering to save some uranium.
I can build that as a decoy for your Mastodon if you build a blank and use it for dredges and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I think also that what you got to remember is it's supposed to be fun. So, have fun with it. Have fun with it. Don't start getting all stressed out because you're losing and stuff like that. Have a bit of fun. Win or lose doesn't really matter because you're still ranking your stuff up. So
Yeah, everybody gets a free match of the day, right? So you can at least do that, not have to worry about repairs. So get in and you'll get something no matter where you end up.
And your crews as well that you get for your matches and stuff.
That's right.
And don't forget your Patreon radar runners, because we all love those.
yeah.
And for God's sakes, if you're gonna drive subs, just don't run for 5 minutes. Drive them. I wasted so much time just sitting there staring at my screen, waiting for the timer to click down from subs running from me. I was so aggravated. It's like, okay, I run a Frostburn. Okay, I've just trumped your card. Don't run for me. Hit retreat. Come try to hit my fleet. Come try to do some damage so you get some points.
Even send one trying to do a bit of damage to your Frosty.
I don't understand. Yeah, I mean, the way that the points are given is based on damage. You ain't giving any damage by running away. Just suck it up and lose. Go in, and if that was me, the first thing I would do is I would run in there. Need be, I would drop a pinch, and I would do as much damage as I could, because I'm a fighter. I'm here to fight. I'm not here to run around for 5 minutes.
Things like I could understand if
your
you
kill,
were paying for the repairs.
your kill streak isn't amazing because after three it's the same anyway. So if you do lose, well, 3 matches and you're back up there to the same bonus. It's not that bad.
I think
Yeah.
also something you got to look at is obviously that I think since they added the self-destruct button in there, I think a lot of lazy people are just chucking subs in there and running away, hoping that people are going to get pissed off when they press that button.
Yeah, because if you're running a crew, you might want. I mean, when that happens to me, I'm kind of torn, right? I want to self-destruct because I want to get more matches in with that crew, but then I don't want to give this stupid sub runner 100 points.
No, exactly.
So that reminds me though, when you're saying running down the crew, I suppose for the person using a sub, it's a tactic for them maybe. I don't know, in a little bit they're looking at the fact of, well, I'm running down their bullseye a bit, so they might not have another one, which means if they fight later, I can kill them because they don't have a bullseye.
Things right. What a lot of people got to remember is right. It's like you're not using uranium for your repairs, so it's not like using coin to repair your subs afterwards. So you're not really losing anything. Just
Yeah.
you're just wasting time basically.
Well, that's the
Save
higher
your time and theirs.
Just remember, not everyone can get uranium like we can, which is why I said earlier, save your mission uranium if you're wanting to do the arena.
Or
Yeah,
even
it's
drop
good.
bases.
I think it's a good investment of uranium.
Oh, definitely.
It definitely is, yeah.
And if
And what you said there about drag base is good as well, Scott.
All right. Anything else you want to say about the arena? Any other tips that we're just giving away the farm?
Um,
A lot of people were annoyed at you, Professor. Actually, it's the first time I've seen people annoyed at you.
Even if you're building them normally, just start building a small pinch so when you do have it, it comes in handy.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, you
Even if
don't
not
have
coin
to
them, it
coin
comes in
them.
really handy.
I say every month, build small pinches because they're handy. I mean, even if you're just gonna go out and do other things and then just come back every half an hour, when you can speed it up, so you've got it.
Well, you don't
Yeah.
have to use it in every battle. It takes 40 minutes. So if you're playing for a few hours, you might be able to use 2 or 3 pinches, and it's just good as a little safety net. I've usually got a pinch. I don't always use it. Certainly don't use it with the radar runners. It's just in the chance that I'm really getting my arse handed to me, I can take some fire off and drop a little pinch real quick.
Even just to get, even if just like that few seconds just to get away, to sort of regroup.
Yeah, it comes in handy so many instances in there. So, but yeah, I think top things are small pinches. Make sure you've got uranium for your repairs. Have fun, and don't run around with subs away from people.
And make you feel a little bit.
Yep.
Because I'll tell you now, if you run away from me with subs, I'll come and smash your base.
Yeah, I can remember
Not
I
if it's in a
quartered it
bubble.
now.
I'll wait until
That's
the bubble
right.
drops.
I haven't heard it talked about, but I've always been tempted. You can you can find the bases of people in your bracket. They give you that little button, and you can find their base.
Yes, you can.
So
I'm just going to say
I
there's
know where
many
you're gonna
dog.
go with this.
I think I know where he's going as well. I think we've already
So-
done this.
Yeah, if somebody's close to you, gaining on you, you can
Well, I haven't done that. I haven't done
smash
that.
the base, take out their
Well,
dog.
There was there may have been a few
Launchpad.
others. There's a few launchpad and dogs which were missing in the last tournament.
Take out
Yeah.
their launch pad. That's
Yeah,
right.
Pam was
That's right.
pain.
I was assisting the team. There was a few people in my lines who were getting hounded by someone with subs. The same 2 or 3 guys with subs and small pinch every single time. Pinch subs radar runners. So I just assisted them by going and killing the launchpad
And you're right.
a few times in the hour. Eventually they moved their launchpad. So I just did the base.
I think the one with the subs and the Orion, going with subs, hit with an Orion and then run away. He didn't like the outcome.
No. Gets expensive when people go in and just drop rockets on your launch pad.
Yeah.
Or snipe them.
And launch pads are just so expensive.
Yeah.
And sniping launch pads is a horrible thing to do. But if it needs to be done, it's a tactic. I'm sorry, but it is.
Yeah, I mean, if somebody's, I think was I talking about this last week? Don't be afraid of tactics. Don't think you're too good for tactics. Certain
Exactly.
tactics.
Same as
And like
prepping.
I said last week, life's not fair, and neither am I.
All right. Want to cut this one a little
Oh.
short, or what else we got to talk about, guys?
We've still got 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Don't know what's going on in the game. What have we not covered so far?
You coming up.
Really.
Unless you guys want to talk about the retarded colors that came out, but
Well, we
You
did
We've
missed
already
that.
done that.
This
Oh,
is
see you later, you see. That's what you
this
miss.
is where talking about punctuality is probably most relevant at the moment.
Should-
I just sit in my little corner over here on the right here and shut my mouth for the most part.
Here,
I
Chris.
miss that shit anyway, so.
I'll show you what you missed, Chris.
I'm going to throw out the chat real quick. So I know it's a little bit of a delay,
See,
but is
Chris,
there anything that people in chat want us to cover?
Chris, you missed our talk about models.
Oh, damn it. I missed all the good stuff.
That's right.
Was
That's
I like
right.
10 minutes late? It couldn't have been that good of a talk.
Yeah, not those models. Anyway.
No,
Unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately. That would not be battle.
Someone just said in Dow 982 just said the rocket pad sniper, Payne's a bad man.
Just do what I gotta do. Someone wants to talk about Rom Crew P. Don't know why we want to talk about Rom Crew P.
I believe he's banned, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think he's gone. Yeah.
Do you know, I'm gonna share an image just because it looked cool. We all see memorials all the time, don't we? And many people don't like memorials and sink memorials. But it's just fun when everyone takes part, and all the people who would usually sink the memorial become the memorial. It's a pretty nice scene. Talk amongst
And we
yourselves
found a
while
user
I
of
find it.
Protos.
Yeah, that was a hard.
We
I'll tell
found a
you,
user of Protos.
I'm gonna
Proto-nemesis?
screen share it. Yeah, memorials.
That's what you need Protos for, morals. Nothing else.
Okay, can you see that right there? In
There we go.
memory. We've got four protos there. We knew some more people between the 2 or 3 alliances that were at the memorial that had them, but they weren't online, unfortunately. But it was a hard thing to do because you know how the ships all face the same way when you come out of your base. I was in my base waiting until they all sat there because obviously you don't want to get that thing sniped with Nighthawks. So I was like, quick, view base, take the snap, and then I think it was one of these. I think it was Donkey Show who actually got
Donkey.
ninjured. But he has
sniped.
Viper and Mastodons under that. And what did the guy do? He ran straight into the middle with his subs.
Beautiful.
And targeted the Proto, as you do.
Well, of course, you'd be stupid to target and everything else, wouldn't you?
Well, the
Yeah,
amount of
okay.
repair that they get for it. It's just
See, we
silly.
get
Santana's got it. Santana's got a sub hunter proto.
That's the only reason I wanted one.
That's what
Only
he
reason.
is for just killing subs. He sits at a tower and just waits for people to hit it.
So we know we threw the question out to chat. Someone said, tell about Eruption Pyre. I don't know if they missed the beginning, but I think we went over it. But just to recap, it's fixed and it works brilliant at the moment.
One
If you can get a few of them in your base.
One thing I will say though is that I think it works a little bit too well when you've retroed it up.
No, it works as intended.
Right. So it's intended for mortars to be able to hit any fleet going slower than 30 combat speed.
Wasn't it
When it's fully
25?
retroed.
So the retro affects the projectile speed bonus?
It does, and the
Yeah.
splash and the reload rate as well.
It's like platform X
Beautiful.
from the strap base.
All right,
Makes it
beautiful.
fall faster and that's
Sorry, not Earth's. Professor's mini base is going to get a hell of a lot better now.
No, I don't have Eruption Pyre in that base.
You need level 5 platforms as well, don't you?
Well, I haven't even won it yet, but yeah, I need level
Yeah.
5 platforms too.
Get the retro done whilst you're waiting.
One thing I will say is something that I don't know if it's intentional or not. I was talking to the guys before the show. I was playing back one of my hits that I did. The cryo missile seemed to put out the fire of the combustion triggers. So that was with my Mastodons. When the cryonic missile hits, it puts out all the fire on the water. I don't know if anyone else has noticed that. I only noticed it today, so I don't know if it's a visual bug or if it's always been that way, but something to look for, I suppose, more than anything. I want to know if other people are getting the same thing when they hit bases with them.
We'll lag in chat, so
Yeah, there is a bit of delay.
yeah, fire canceling out ice. Like I said before, it would be Kixeye all of a sudden decides to implement some
It's
physics.
logic. You can't kick for logic.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things which are illogical in this game. I won't get started about them.
Yep.
In fact, I am going to say something while we've still got time and while chat catches up. And I'm hoping Kixeye are watching this and listen to it. But for crying out loud, sort the missions out. And by that, I mean the prize pools are the same. They have been the same for months. And just...
Bring back the upgrades.
Well, there's loads of things. Like me and Scotty earlier were looking at some builds, and Scotty doesn't have speed upgrade, and I did, and he has to use nuclear accelerator, which is a hell of a lot heavier, and it's only a small special. It's nothing major. We're not asking to bring back the Frostburn again or the Phantom Nighthawks. Yeah, little things like that, which people might have missed the first time, like your engines upgrade. Evades upgrades, splash, concussive damage upgrade. I think they were the 4 upgradable things. And then you had the shielded electronics, siege drones, and all those kind of things that came around about a year and a half ago. I think they were introduced. I might be wrong, but they haven't seen a comeback. And there's a lot of new players in the game as well. People with 16, 17 mil IDs who are wanting to get off and start playing the game. They can't have anti-pinch on their guard because there's no agility system, there's no shielded electronics. How are those people meant to build their base guards? I think for the new players as well, they really need to reintroduce some of the older stuff.
Well, I think we looked into the speed system, and I've been playing just over a year now, and I think I've only ever seen it once.
Well, speed system's in the mission, I think, actually.
Oh, no, the upgrade.
Speed upgrade.
Oh,
speed
the
upgrade.
Evade. Speed upgrade.
Yeah, I think I've only ever seen it once since I've been playing.
I think
maybe twice.
Sad enough to see, I was looking through all the raid videos about a week ago, and I need to write it down. I think it was May last year is when speed upgrade, evade upgrade, and all those, as well as hydrodynamic shells, shielded electronics. I don't think they've been offered since last May, so we're almost at 1 whole year, and these haven't been offered at all. There's a lot of people who have started playing with it. Exactly.
Not big prize, but used to use on stingrays and
yeah,
so
we're
on.
Not asking to bring back a chance to win the Phantom or anything. Nothing. I don't think it's a big ask to do this. There's all this new stuff going in, and I think for the average player who has played for the years and every week they do the mission, it doesn't affect them maybe because they've got it. So it's not going to affect if you add new prizes as well, because these people who are keeping up to date with the missions, they can get the new prizes still. But like I said, mainly for new people or for people who have missed out every so often.
Make them tier 3.
Yeah. They were tier 3 when they came out.
Yeah.
Because I think the only thing I've seen in the actual missions, the weekly missions for the upgrade, was concussive and evade upgrade. I don't think I've ever seen speed upgrade or the what's the other one?
There's splash upgrade as well.
Yeah.
And all of them have uses with modern fleets. Evade upgrade is really useful if you've got a fleet with 4 specials and you can stick that on.
So it's just a white save.
Evade upgrade is one that seems popular.
Hey, so we have a question came up in. We have a question came up in chat about we got somebody asking about a Dante Novastorm fleet. Does a good build exist? do you think? Are
Yes.
we still
I would-
disappointed in
I don't think
those,
it's
or
moved correctly.
I still think yes.
I don't think it speeds up 60% at all. Like, I don't notice it speeding up. So I
It's
don't.
still down to the driver as well.
I'm sorry.
It's still down to just the driver and the build as well. You know, people think it's going to be like a fleet that you can just sort of like build and just walk through a base.
Yeah, I'm gonna answer that by saying yes. There are loads of good builds out there. It's just building it and driving it. And I think the main thing is it's one of these things where it's like I'm gonna compare it to going to the cinemas and watching a film or the movies if you're in America. When a new film comes out and you watch the trailers and you get all hyped up and you expect it to be the biggest best film that there is, and then yeah, it was a good film, but it wasn't as good as you expected, then you don't think about that film as good as it is. So you might not recommend it to your friends, or if they say, "Oh, I don't know, did you go and see the new Avengers movie?" Yeah, it was all right. And it's the same with this fleet. Whereas you've got fleets like Hellhounds, where when they came out, people are like, "Well, I'll get it because it's something new," and then they build them, and suddenly the Hellhound is a ridiculously powerful fleet, and people might not have expected it to be as powerful, so it looks better than it is in that comparison. So I think yeah, it is a good fleet. You just need to build it right and drive it right, and
well,
think
you know,
about
the mortar fleets are tougher to use, right? Because you just have that delay while the mortar shells, arc up and hit their target. If you're used to arbalest or missiles,
They're in.
those hit a lot quicker, and so it's tough with mortars.
I was just
I mean,
saying
my
with
thing's
when
good. It's just all I have is the Pandemonium mortars, and they're so heavy. I'm waiting for the Searing Barrage mortars, and I think I can get a little bit more firepower and save myself a little bit more weight for armor. And once I test that and get that straightened out, I think I'll have a pretty good fleet there. Like I said, I just think one with all Pandemonium mortars is just a little too heavy. I think it's like the old DNX BQ syndrome where you need, you know what I mean, a little bit of B for weight and then a lot of the Q, which is kind of like the Searing Barrage at 350 tons versus the whatever 1800 or whatever that the Pandemonium is.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
So
I
I
agree
can't
with
really talk about it until I get both mortars on it. So you know what I mean? Because I don't have all the information on it. I'm not really happy with it all Pandemonium, but I think it'll get better with the Searing
Yeah,
Barrage.
I didn't
Barrage fleet's
play.
good.
I didn't play back obviously with the DNX and the Hamheads, but I've got a mate that did, and obviously he had like 3 different types of mortars on his Hammerheads for the different delays, and and you had to stop and move at the right time, especially with the new Apocalypse mortars now. You've got to know when to stop and when to move with the mortar fleets compared to the missile fleets, where you can just keep going.
I think the reason that a lot of people are sort of less enthralled by the Dante and the Nova Storms is because they've seen the damage output from Hellhound warp fleets. I still think that the Hellhound warp fleets are better than the Nova Storms, and the reason that I say that is mostly because there's too much stuff that can kill you these days. You can't really defend against everything, and obviously with that sitting duck sort of aspect of the way that mortars work, I think with the Hellhound, with the speed boost that you get from them with the overdrive, is what really makes them. And I think that's just not what you get with the Nova Storm, which is why I've decided myself that I wasn't going to build them.
I thought you were saying about the mortars. I mean, you said yourself. I mean, you've got the mortar, the Eruption Prime Retro, and you said yourself it's a bit quick, dropping wise to. So if you can't outrun that, you're going to get hit by it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, to be honest, I think the reason that the Hounds are mostly successful is because of their speed. We all know that that's the main killing aspect of the Hellhound.
Well, it's supposed to speed everything up, and it doesn't. I mean,
Yeah.
I drive mine all the time, and it doesn't speed it up. I drive through fire fields. I've gotten hit with Apocalypse mortars. I've sat there and let it get hit. You know what I mean? Like turned around and drove through fire to test it, and I cannot get it. It does not look like it speeds up.
I think I'm going to
think
agree
it does it
with
for the
Chris.
fire.
It
Yeah, I
does for
don't
the
think
ice,
it does
but
it.
not the fire.
It does for the ice, but not for the fire. That's what I've noticed as well.
Hey,
But,
someone says you said that about hounds as well.
Who said
About them not
that?
being very good. Lips of an Angel on our chat on YouTube.
Yeah, I did say that, but I did say it about thrower hounds, which we all know is not the way
Well,
that, you know,
Here's,
they're not what they are.
here's what first of all, to Chris, I think it'd be good if you could actually get a few videos of that and send it to Kicksite. Because if it is meant to speed up your fire, it doesn't. Then they need to look into fixing that. But I think either way,
The
I think
blueprint
one thing I'm going to consider. One thing I'm going to consider if I ever build them is not using incendiary and using combustion system, which is another thing that should be released in the missions. But yeah, if you've got combustion system, I think that will keep it fast paced enough. Because with base hitting now, like we said about the missiles and the Crusaders, it's very fast paced, and it needs to be for the morts. You can't sit under morts even with the biggest hound fleets. You're still going to take too much damage. So use the combustion system for a faster projectile speed of your morts, and they've got a good reload. They have 150%, don't they? Standard on the Nova Storms, is that right? 150.
Yeah. 100 or 150.
Or with
It's
the
100.
Dante.
With the Dante, you'll get 150, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, so even if you're using the Dante as well, you get 150% bonus, as well as rank. So that mixed with combustion system and Searing Barrage morts is going to put a hell of a lot of fire really fast onto a fleet. And you don't need to use the splash from the shells. You can just use pure speed, and you can try and keep it more of a blitzer. So that's just one way you could go about using the fleet still.
I mean, I'm kind of going back to the arena a bit, but one thing that I was saying about the lower bracket, the Hellstrike fleet can be used as a Hellhound fleet as well with the mortars because of the splash. If you're retro, I mean, we looked into it earlier, and you can get with incendiary shells, you can get 110% splash on the Hellstrikes if you're retro. So they can be just as good. They can be just as good as any Hellhound fleet.
And if you put pandemonium mortars on Hellstrikes at R10 and you do the retros on them and get it up to like 110, 120% on splash, I mean, you know, the pandemonium mortars have got, what, 19 splash range? You know, that's an insane amount of splash. That's like 3 tiles of splash.
Yeah, I mean, I know someone that's like their Hellstrike combat speed, talking about combat speed, I mean, their combat speed is about 23, 24. So
Yeah.
you're going to outrun the mortars.
And to be honest, I mean, the newer mortars have got quite a good flight time. We're not talking like the Siege B mortar flight time, which is, you know, horrendously long. So, you know, it's another option for people who haven't got it, and you know, if you can get.
I think it's another option for people that may have Hellstrikes built with the old Hellstrikes, and then they get the Syrian mortar. It's something they can utilise instead of building Hellhounds or, you know, other fleets. They can just refit.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen them in bases, hitting bases with handling ammonia morts, with the incendiary shells, and they do a lot of damage, and the splash on them is literally just crazy. So, I think I mentioned that last week as well. But,
Yeah.
Just one more. I know we've run out of time, but someone just asked a question we could probably answer real quickly. They say lower evade while adding Reaver bulkhead armor. Is this popular yet? So what do you think about lowering evade for adding more Reaver bulkheads?
That's what you guys did on your Wrath builds.
It depends how low. I mean, I don't think I'd ever go below 60%.
I agree. I think if I'm at 60%, I'm getting worried at that point about evade from a base attacking fleet. So try and keep at least 60%. If you can aim for at least 70%, that's even better.
yeah, I always try to aim for at least 70, really.
Yeah, and just remember, all bulkhead isn't good. I've seen people use. I've been hit by. It was a Grimshan Berserker with 4 protomasts, and that Grimshan's Berserker, as soon as it got fired at in the guard, it was dead within about 5 or 6 seconds, just from the lower resistance that it has. If you have Reaver bulkhead and nothing else, then you're going to be really low on resistances.
Yeah. I mean, even just one bulkhead, just for the armor points. I mean, you seen Payne's build earlier with the Crusaders. I think he had, what, 3 D5Es in a bulkhead? So
had three D5Es and three bulkheads, and
no,
it
on
gave.
the Crusaders.
Oh, and the Crusaders have three
Yeah.
D5E and a bulkhead, yeah, and that's still
Yeah,
64.5% of it,
But it bumps his armor up to what?
just under 20,000, 19,968.
So it just adds
I
that
think-
extra arm points. He's still got the defenses, but you've still got the arm points there as well.
The one thing that I'm just going to say is if you use all bulkhead, all you get gaining is armor points and massive repair.
Yeah, a huge repair.
Because you're going to melt.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you need to. It's the same as everything in this game. You need to have a good balance with everything that you do. So
Definitely.
get the balance. You need to get the evade in there because if you haven't got the evade in there, you're going to get eaten.
Same as the missile and the cannon and the explosive.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we've come to the end then. We've actually kept it over an extra 10 minutes than we usually do. So I would apologise for that, but I'm not really sorry. So there we
It's alright. It was good.
Considering we had 20 minutes to go and we didn't have anything to talk about, we've done quite well.
I can always talk. I'm cool with that. I work in sales where I have to talk on a daily basis. But
You look like
yeah,
you don't
so
sleep.
I don't.
You telemark for pain.
So yeah, first of all, thank you everyone for coming and watching. Thanks for Chris for finding his way to the panel eventually. Remember to check out our Facebook page for builds, base advice. Any questions, we'll always answer them within a couple of days. There's always one of us online checking. That's facebook.com/the Battle Pirates Crib. I think that's right.
It is.
Yeah. And we'll have our show on Friday, like we usually do. And it will be a community show, so you can get your pretty faces on TV, pretty much. So send us a message if you want to come on. It's a first come, first served basis to come on the panel. And we don't, as current, have a topic yet. We don't know. I don't know. Do any of you lot know what we're going to do on Friday?
I don't even know if I'm gonna be on time.
Does the chat have any thing they want to talk about?
Well, they can post it to our page. They can message us, and I'll probably, we could even put a vote up on the page and see what people want to talk about. I'm guessing with the arena being on, they might want to talk about that. I don't.
Yeah.
Yep.
So watch it and catch you later.
See ya.
Bye.
See you later.
Have a good one.